Ruskin's been making air measurement products since 1994 and thermal dispersion air measurement products since 2009. What's new is everything. In particular, we're excited to tell you about our new wiring topology, higher sensor density, and standard BACnet network connectivity. Features include greater flexibility and more configuration options to fit your application. So we're going to talk about how it works. Thermal dispersion is simply magic. I told you I was going to keep it simple for now, so let's just say it's magic. You've heard about thermal dispersion technology, and it's a well-established technology. The value, this product is easier to install and will work in the most demanding locations and environmental conditions. You'll be impressed. The features for those using the future for those using Ruskin air measurement products is very bright. But first, we need you to get on your keyboards. We need to know what air measurement feature you would find most important or appealing in your market for your application. So this is what we asked you to do here earlier. Higher sensor density, network interface, lowest energy consumption on the market, out-of-the-box accuracy, 5-year warranty. Which of those things would be more appealing to you, most appealing? So looking for some input back on your keyboards. Looking at this picture and the spiral ductwork way up there, what the person installing Ruskin air measurement in that duct would find appealing probably is a tall ladder, a man lift, or maybe a Spider-Man outfit. Okay, everyone's checked the feature or features that would be most appealing. Thank you. We're moving on here. We have a product that can do all of these things for you in a more effective, efficient way than ever before. So if you clicked anything on the previous screen, it's in there. It's like Prego spaghetti sauce. It's in there. Ripe fresh tomatoes. No, not in there. But we do have higher sensor density, standard BACnet network interface, lowest energy consumption on the market, and lower pressure drop. Out-of-the-box accuracy, all that, and a 5-year warranty too. Are you wowed yet? You will be before we finish this presentation. What the heck is a TDP05K? Get it? It's a thermal dispersion probe, 0 to 5,000 feet a minute. That's the range. That's what this thing is. What is it? It's the most advanced thermal dispersion air measurement system available today. This new system has no limits. Well, we have some. We have 8 sensing points per probe and up to 16 probes per air measurement station. What that means is that we can sample the air in more places in the duct and arrive at a more accurate air measurement using more sensing points per air measurement station makes any bad location better. We do have a limit of 128 sensing points for very large or very bad installations. Shown here is our wireless remote display on the wall with an 8-sensor primary probe installed in the duct and an 8-sensor ancillary probe installed in that same duct. The large, bright remote display is an interior decorator or design engineer's dream come true. The remote display looks great on any wall in your control room and can be installed wirelessly up to 200 feet from the primary probe or wired up to 500 feet from the air measurement station, no longer limited to a 50-foot distance. The air measurement station is way up there, more than 16 feet above the floor, just below the roof deck. The man lift was used instead of a Spider-Man outfit to install the probes in a very bad location. We were only 3 feet away from the blower, just upstream from 2 horizontal branch takeoffs. We hooked up the wireless displays to a power supply on the desk, and we were able to configure the air measurement station, the BACnet interface, and read the airflow and temperatures from RTU1 and RTU2 from the comfort of our chair. Air measurement just got easier. For years, we've preached the physics of airflow and how placement is critical for acceptable air measurement, and building design engineers have just laughed. They say, yeah, right. They say, we don't have that kind of space. Mechanical rooms are getting smaller and smaller. Upstream, downstream placement distances just are not available. Ruskin has a solution. With an upper limit of 128 sensing points per air measurement station and all the air going only one direction through the plane of the air measurement station, we can measure the air flowing at more points and arrive at an accurate, repeatable airflow measurement in more bad locations than ever before. For you math whizzes out there, this is analogous to integrating the area under the curve to arrive at a more accurate result, not just a 2 or 4 point guesstimate. We can actually measure it. The red arrow in this photo shows the air measurement station in the duct where it could be installed just downstream from the blue arrow, which is the transition from the duct silencer. Sorry, but this is not an ideal location, but it is the best location available. We've always stated that the greatest feature of the electronic air measurement product is that probes can be installed almost anywhere. And the worst thing is that they are installed almost anywhere. Again, with more sensing points in the duct, we're making those bad locations better, solving a problem for the industry. We have the product that can measure and report both temperature and airflow U in a more efficient and effective way than ever before. Accurate and durable sensors that can be individually turned off in the event of failure or to improve a reading. More on that in a minute. We're not wiring the probes back to a transmitter box. This exciting new product has a primary probe and almost any number of ancillary probes. The primary probe is the automation interface. Probes are connected in a daisy chain fashion, one probe to the next, using standard twisted pair wire. The primary probe is available with or without a display. The primary probe is the interface point with the automation system and is also available as a remote primary controller, making it possible to install just the primary display and automation interface up to 500 feet away from the air measurement station's location. The wired remote display option is connected as another ancillary device, just like the ancillary probes, to the probe network. No addressing required because the remote display is hard-coded into the primary probe and will duplicate all the functions of the primary display when wired on the probe network. Non-proprietary cabling, no more than 50 foot of coils, wrapped around, non-proprietary cabling, no more 50-foot coils of wire wrapped around the transmitter box. We've all seen that on the job site. Wire can be replaced or extended in the field without returning the probe for calibration and paying big bucks for wire you don't need. 2 probes with 8 sensors each consumes less than 8 VA. That's an incredibly low amount of power. Airfoil-shaped probe has the lowest pressure drop and corresponding fan energy loss. If these used any less power, they would be generating an output like a solar panel, but we're not that low. We need some power. We're not making it here. All the menus are accessible using the membrane switches on the cover of the primary or remote display boxes. No more sliding the cover up or removing screws to get to the buttons. They're right on the cover. Indoor or outdoor applications, the NEMA rated enclosures have been tested with a 1-inch water jet and water doesn't get in. The enclosures are completely watertight and vented, which sounds like an oxymoron, but it works. It's possible. Early on in the development of this new product, we realized that if the primary probe is in a totally inaccessible location, how can the air measurement station be configured when installed? The solution was our remote display. Again, we have 4 display options. One is a primary probe with a display and any number of ancillary probes. This is the best choice when the installed location is easily accessible. We have a second option, and that is the wired remote primary controller and all ancillary probes. The primary is a separate box and is not part of the probe and can be wired up to 500 feet away. The third option is the addition of our wireless remote display, duplicating all the functions of the primary probe. This is also available as a wired remote display, so available as wired or wireless. The primary probe is available with or without a display. So we have lots of options here to fit your particular application and how it's going to be installed. The remote display is larger and brighter than the display on the primary probe, making it easier to read. All the features and functions, again, of the primary probe's display are duplicated on the remote, so there's no reason to go to the primary probe. Often, the primary probe will be installed, as I said, in an inconvenient location where running a wire from the primary probe to the remote display's location just isn't possible. The wireless remote display solves this problem. However, if a wire can be run from the primary or any ancillary probe to the remote display, then the wired remote display will save a few dollars. With multiple air measurement stations installed in a building. Any number of wired or wireless remote displays can be located in one convenient location, making it easier to see dynamically each air handler in the system and all the air measurements. The benefit of this is that we are no longer tethered to the air measurement station's location. We can put the remote primary controller up to 500 feet away or use the wireless remote up to 200 feet away. This, again, facilitates multiple air measurement stations in the building in one convenient location. Two lines of the display can be configured. Actually, line 2 of the display can be configured with custom text such that where it says VELO in this screen is shown here, you can edit that and have it read AHU1 or RTU3 or any custom text you want to see. Configuration options support both metric and English units and can be set to display either actual airflow or standard airflow, adjusting for both altitude and humidity when standard air measurement is required. The sensors are probably the most exciting innovation, but I was told to keep it shiny pretty and not get too far into the details. Our thermistors are surface mounted on a flexible plastic circuit using highly automated pick-and-place manufacturing for the highest quality, most reliable, and repeatable sensor performance ever. We're responding to market demands to eliminate field failures of an entire probe just because one sensor's failed. So now, in addition to the most durable sensors ever made, we now have the ability within the supervisor's menu to selectively turn off one sensor without failing the entire probe. With more sensing points, one sensor is less critical. Technology here is so advanced that a failed sensor will put itself in timeout if it's being bad. Greater uptime and higher reliability for your process or building is what the result is here. Connections are made on removable, high-quality Phoenix connectors with screw terminal connections. So you're not working in a tiny box to make your connections, and when using our recommended wire, both power and communication connections can be made running one cable. What is innovative about this design? The airfoil shape is the only thing we kept from our previous design. Everything inside is new. Ruskin has invested 3 years developing this new product to make sure we addressed all the features our customers were asking for in an electronic air measurement probe. Accurate temperatures with the ability to offset up to plus or minus 3 degrees C, that's 5.6 degrees Fahrenheit, if necessary to match a test and balance reading. Pin-protected, tool-free access to the menus with surface-mounted membrane switches. Hinged enclosure with captive screws so the cover doesn't get lost or misplaced and the screws don't get lost. We went to flexible plastic circuits with conformal-coated thermistors to provide the greatest tolerance for wet environments and the most durable sensors ever. All probes are hermetically sealed and water is not an issue. Hose them down if you want. It will not damage or degrade the sensors. Just make sure you've ordered the NEMA 4 option before turning the hose on the interface enclosure. There has never been a product like this. Ruskin is setting the standard for what air measurement stations should be. Competition is scared, and for good reason. Nobody has these features today. This product is being configured prior to shipment to display CFM. Just take it out of the box and install. No adjustments are required for most installations. But what do you do when the installation really sucks? The tab guy says, you can't measure the air there. If the air is passing through the plane of the air measurement station in two directions, then you really do have a problem. But for those installations where the air is only going one way, we have 1, 2, or 3-point automatic gain and offset built in to this product to compensate for less than ideal installation locations and non-linear airflows. Simply enable automatic K-factor correction and select how many points to use to make the reported airflow match test and balance measurements. It's that easy. Gain and offset is automatically calculated. Probes can be installed horizontally or vertically in the rectangular, round, or oval duct. We recommend equal area placement of the sensors in most rectangular duct installations, and for round duct, we have log Chebyshev or log EK sensor placement, which produces the most accurate air measurements possible with more sensors located towards the outer edges. Maximum probe length is up to 120 inches or 10 feet. For wider openings, probes can be inserted from both sides, spanning an opening up to 240 inches wide. And any number of probes can be installed vertically to span even larger openings. Not any number, but up to 16 probes. So I've covered a lot of information here in a short time. Following today's webinar, you can go to our website, ruskin.com, and download our CSI 3-part guide specification for your use, making Ruskin air measurement the basis of design for your next project. There you will also find product data sheets, technical bulletin, and installation manual. Your Ruskin representative will be ready to take your orders next Monday, June 19th. Ruskin has built a new addition to our Parsons, Kansas manufacturing facility, added new equipment, and dedicated space for this product. Ruskin is changing the way air measurement has typically been done. I could show you what was behind that gray box, but then I'd have to kill you. That's where we put the magic in. The magic is inserted in Parsons, Kansas. Ruskin has invested big time in this new product, and we're backing this product with a 5-year warranty. We have good people trained to provide the high-quality products we've always built. 3 years of development work and extensive testing has gotten us here today. As the old slogan goes, this isn't your father's Oldsmobile. This is all new, literally from the ground up. The TDP05K is an extensively tested product. Environmental testing and a really big freezer that transitions into a hot box was used to validate the full range of operating temperatures. Electromagnetic testing proved this product is not emanating radio waves and is not affected in the presence of radio waves. Salt spray testing established that this is the most durable sensor on the market today. And UV exposure testing. The materials used have been carefully selected for this application, and much more. Each test passed with flying colors, or modifications and enhancements were made to the product to make sure the product we have today is the most reliable product. So okay, I see a couple of you have asked some questions here, so I'm going to review the questions panel here, so stand by just a second as I pop this out and make it bigger so I can read it. We've also got a video on our website that you can see. It's on our YouTube channel. So make sure you check that out also. Question came in, is it possible to adjust for altitude? And again, the good question. The air measurement probes measure actual airflow in the locations that they're installed, and if you want to report standard airflow, you can enter the elevation and the humidity where the units are installed, and it will report standard air. It will correct the measurement to report standard air. So that's a good question, but it will always display actual unless you've gone in and put in an elevation and a humidity, and then in that case it will report standard error. It makes the correction for that. I may not have made it clear here when I was talking about the remote displays. A couple of questions pertaining to the remote displays, and they were asking if one remote display covers multiple air measurement stations, and what the point I was trying to make is that we could have one remote display per air measurement station. But again, you have options of ordering the unit with a remote primary controller, and so that primary controller could be installed in a control room, for example, as long as you're within that max 500 feet limit, or we could put multiple wireless displays in one location. But each air measurement station can have up to 2 displays, the one on the primary and then a remote wired or wireless display, and then every air measurement station would have its own display. So again, sorry for the confusion on that, and I hope that that has helped to clear that up. Question about lint, dust, dirt, leaves, bugs, etc. Piling up in the sensor. And again, with the design of this product, we've made the sensors much more durable. Those sensors, this particular sensor, you can hose it out, you can brush it out, you can do what you need to clean it out, but regular maintenance on any air measurement station is still required. So if you've got lint and dirt balls or leaves wrapping themselves around the probe, then those definitely need to be removed in order for you to get accurate air measurements, but then it's very easy to restore it back to normal operation. For cleaning, we've always recommended, and we still recommend, that you use nothing stronger than distilled water, that has the properties necessary to clean out what would typically be on the sensor, and so we don't recommend using anything stronger than that. But power it down, hose it off, wipe the probes down, dry it off, and bring them back online. So that's still an operating procedure, but again, these sensors are much more durable and you will not damage it. Probes are definitely, question here is how many sensors are on the probe. We can have a maximum of 8 probes per sensor, 8 sensors per probe, and a maximum of 16 probes per air measurement station. So within the installation manual, on our technical manuals that you'll find online, you can see how many sensors and how many probes would be provided for each size air measurement station. But that's a great question. Thanks for bringing that out. All right, that pretty much covers most of the questions there. If I didn't get to your question, believe me, I'll be getting back to you here after the webinar, and I will certainly make sure that we address all those questions that are out there. So thank you again, everyone, for putting in questions. And again, if you still have a question, please put it in there, and we'll get back to you with that question, with that answer, I should say. You've got the questions, we've got the answers. So Ruskin will be shipping the TDP05K orders within 4 weeks of receipt of your order, but as we ramp up, the lead time will become 2 weeks standard with express options available. Ruskin is uniquely positioned to combine air measurement with control dampers, air measurement with louvers, and air measurement with actuators and controls. This system changes the way air measurement has been done, and with a combination of one primary probe and any number of ancillary probes, we have the ability to measure airflow with more sampling points and, in the process, reduce the uncertainty in any airflow measurement. We're able to make almost any bad location an acceptable location, providing measurement where it wasn't possible before. Wireless remote display farther away from the air measurement station than ever before possible. wired remote primary controller or remote display up to 500 feet away on the probe network using our recommended ConnectAir cable. This is a wire that's available from your local wire supplier or from your Ruskin representative in convenient 500-foot rolls. Phoenix screw terminal connections are highest quality connector, greatly simplifying installations and providing reliable, trouble-free connections. And while I didn't spend any time on this, we have the ability with this product to generate 4 alarms via the BACnet interface. We have low flow alarm, high flow alarm, low temperature alarm, high temperature alarm, technical material for another presentation. So we've run out of time today, but if I didn't answer your questions, as I said, I'll get back to you via email. I want to thank you all so very much for taking time and making time in your schedules to be with us today. That concludes today's webinar. Thank you.